Welcome Toastmasters, honored and distinguished guests throughout the room, and viewers at home for another meeting of the Golden Speakers Toastmasters. And now it is my pleasure to call up our VP of Ed, filling in for our president, Louis Denbaum. This is Monty Congdon.
As well said, I'm standing in for Mr. Louis Denbaum. He is out on business this evening, so I'm standing as president. And it's my job as president, or acting president, to introduce you to the club mission. The mission of a Toastmasters club is that we empower individuals to become effective communicators and also effective leaders. Our club mission is that we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now I see some, do we have any guests here tonight? We have one
two
guest?
guys are guests.
Both of them? Okay. Would you like to introduce yourself and say a couple words about why you're attending tonight? Or
You can just get up, say your name, and why you're here.
I'm Jackson, and I'm first grade. I'm from Burlington High School, and I practice management.
Okay.
But I'm international student.
Great. Good. Welcome.
So my name is Richard. I just come with staff and have experience for here, and just studying in Hy-Vee High School as junior. Thank you.
And in the back, we have a guest.
I'm Raven, and I'm just interested to visit and see what you do.
Well, thank you for coming, Ray. We also have a distinguished previous member here, Mr. Seth Braun. Thank you for bringing the guests. Welcome back. And also a couple of new faces, which is joining our club family, which we'll hear later from tonight. We're going to have a new member induction ceremony at the close of the meeting. That's always exciting to bring on new members. Now it is time to move on with our meeting, and it is my great pleasure to introduce your distinguished, your esteemed Toastmaster of the evening, myself. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, as we begin the meeting, it is now my job to, one thing I want to bring up is that for guests and for members who haven't been here for a while, we have changed up our meeting a little bit. We have moved table topics from the beginning to the end of the meeting. We're going to open up with our prepared speeches, and then we're going to finish up with our table topics. That gives us a little bit more time management strategy that we can utilize. We're trying to keep our meetings on time. It's important to be on time in the Toastmaster Club. That said, let me introduce our role players. Our first role player is our timer, who is Luis.
Time this evening, so I'll be having everybody table topic evaluators, So for the table topics, which will be the dessert of me, we will have 1 to 2 minutes speeches. So the first minute, the green light will go on, and that will let you know that you're good to go. You can stop right there. Yellow light at 1.5 minutes is going to tell you that you're starting to get close to the finish line. And the red mark means that you need to start wrapping it up. You're going to have 30 seconds over just finish. And that's the table topics. And after that, we have the speeches of the evening, which start with one that is Jody, 8 minutes. 8 minute mark is going to bring the green light. At 9 minutes, it's going to be the yellow light. 10 minutes, just going to wrap it up and finish with the light. And we have Annalise and Jean are going to have 5 to 7 minute speeches. At the 5 minute mark, that's going to come on. Finish right there. And then the yellow light is going to come in at the 6th minute. And then at the 7th minute, we're going to have to wrap it up. And we have the table topic evaluator. It's going to be 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes, like 2.5 minutes, yellow light, green light, red light is going to come on 3 minutes. And the speech evaluators is going to be 2 to 3 minutes as well. So the same thing is going to apply to them. 2 minutes, between,
Thank you, Luis. Got a spill in aisle 5, but it's getting cleaned up as we speak. Moving on to our grammarian. Our grammarian tonight is Karen Aoki. Carol.
Hi. I'm the grammarian for the evening. I will listen to the language used by members during the meetings, make a note of any exceptionally good or bad uses of language, and give a brief report at the end of the day. And we're also looking for really clever and beautiful turns of the phrase. And then I'll also be listening for the word of the day, and the word of the day is shimmer, which means to emit a faint or tremulous light, or as a noun, it's a glistening. And my sentence I used was "Lift in the skies tonight after midnight to view the shimmer of the meteor trails."
All right, thank you, Carol. Our off-counter tonight, Ryan Prana. Ryan, can you tell us about being an off-counter?
Hello, everybody. Good evening, Toastmasters, viewers at home. Yes, I am the odd counter, and I will be counting false starts during the speeches. So any break in the speech that would otherwise be more fluid. So there's one there, but I will be keeping track of the counts and then doing a speech, a short speech to give suggestions for people in the future for their speeches. So
All right.
I think it's about a minute.
You just give a report at the end of the meeting.
Okay, we'll be doing that.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Yep.
We are going to hear from our general evaluator, the great Scott Terry, at the end of the meeting. And also, we have a joke. Yes, we do. We have a joke master tonight, Samantha Young, who will be entertaining us later this evening also. Those are and we're missing a ballot counter. So members, if you could, when it's time for us to vote, just step up and help gather the ballots around you, and we'll hand them in to somebody who will tally them up for you. Moving on, it is now time for our prepared speeches. We have 3 speeches tonight, 3 prepared speeches. The first evaluator of our first speech will be Will Burns, and he's going to introduce Jyoti Raj Adhikari. Mr. Will Burns.
Thank you, Marcy. It's my great pleasure to introduce Jyoti Raj Adhikari. He is speaking from the Confident Communicator Manual, speech number 10, Inspire Your Audience. This speech, his goal is to inspire us, the audience, to improve personally, emotionally, professionally, or spiritually, relying heavily on emotional appeal. The speech should appeal to noble motives and challenge us to attain a higher level of beliefs or achievement. Jyoti has been a member of Golden Speakers Club since 2010. He has served this club as an officer, behind the scenes in many roles, both as the VP of Education and now currently as the Treasurer. He is a CPA, currently practicing in Fairfield, and where he lives with his wife and daughter. Please join me in warmly welcoming Jyoti Raj Adhikari. The title of the speech, What Do You Want to Be When You Grow Up?
So how many of you have been asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? Yes. We all of us, not once, not twice, several times asked, what do you want to become when you grow up? Or what do you want to do when you grow up? And we said, somebody said, I want to be pilot. I want to be actor. I want to be president. I want to be soldier. I want to be singer. have to be athletes, whatever. We said, people with with enthusiasm, with happiness and a lot of feelings, without a doubt, we're gonna do that or not. But coming to this moment, fast forward to this moment after 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, 40, 60 years, how many of we really achieved what we wanted to do, what we wanted to achieve? Very few. We wanted to do a lot, and we are very confident we'll do that, but we couldn't. What's the reason behind this? Why it happened? Fellow Toastmasters, guests and viewers at home, the only reason behind this is your belief. That's the only reason. We believed we can't do it. What you believe, you will get. It is not like you believe now and it will manifest after 15 years. Believing is not enough. But what we believe, we can believe it will happen. We can believe it will not happen. If you believe, I can do it, you will work to this direction and you'll reach there where you can do that. And you believe you can, you'll move to this direction. And you are true, you are correct. You will not do that. When we grew up, we hear a lot of things, listen to a lot of things, come across a lot of people, and slowly we develop a lot of beliefs. These are limiting our beliefs. So these are the obstacles which are pushing us behind instead of pushing us in front, forward. All these television programs, all these writers, authors, and everybody, they're selling the beliefs. They want to make money. So they sell fear, and they earn money. And we're buying that belief. We're buying that belief, and we're not able to go forward. But there is no such thing as you can't do anything. You can do everything. Just change your belief. I take two examples here. One is you might have heard, it's very hard to do something to achieve. It's very hard. It's very difficult. If you want to become a master in something, you have to work for 10,000 hours. Somebody told me. That's a belief I have. How did he come to the conclusion that you have to work 10,000? Why not 50,000? Why not 5,000? That's just a belief we have. We think that it's very hard to achieve something. I have to work hard, and I'm not enough. I'm not doing enough hard work to achieve this. That's pushing me behind. That's limiting my belief. The second example is I might have believed that I don't have that privilege what you guys have. I'm from different race, different community. My appearance is different. My social status is different. I'm not that rich as you are. That's a limiting belief. That is keeping you away from all those achievements. I am the example here alive. I had that belief just 6 months back, 7 months back. If I go back, I have that belief. I believed language is the main barrier for me. I can be only a good speaker when I improve my language. So that wall is between my audience and myself. There is a wall. So I'm not able to speak directly to them. That was just restricting. And one day, just deja vu, I got it. It's not about my language. It's about the belief. It's about that restriction which I am putting myself. I looked into myself and found I'm already a good speaker. I believed I am not. That's why I was not. So you want to go forward? Believe that you could, you can, you will. The first thing you do, what you do first thing? You just stop identifying yourself with belief. Just stop it. Don't identify yourself with a belief. Don't say that I'm Asian, so I don't have that accent. Stop identifying yourself with certain beliefs. I'm short, so I can't reach there. Just grab a stool and reach there. Don't take that. Don't believe that I'm fat, so I can't do that. I'm old, so I can't do that. Don't stick with the belief. And the second thing is, kill your conclusions. Don't reach the conclusion. Don't think that when you come here and start speaking, people will laugh at you. Don't reach the conclusion. Don't think that if you do this thing, you'll reach here. Who knows? Where will you go? Where will you reach? That's just your conclusion. You don't know where you will go, where you will reach. And the very most important, and the most important thing is, just test your assumptions. The life is assumption. You are making a lot of assumptions. You don't know what will happen next. Always you assume what is going to happen next. You don't know. You have a lot of beliefs and assumptions. If Barack Obama, the president, had believed in that assumption where 75% of people are white, and if everybody gonna vote him other than white people, if he had that assumption, he would have never won the election. He would never have been the president of US. There had been no history. He made a history because he didn't assume that this gonna happen. He believed something else. So he tested his assumptions. He tested. So test your assumptions. Don't make assumptions. I made a lot of assumptions in my life. Even in Toastmasters meetings. Instead of making that, if I had tested, I would not have to wait for like 3 years to become what I became. So test it. Don't assume. There is no limit. You can achieve anything. No age limit. No race. No religion. Now go your home and just think, what is your limitation? Just find it out. Throw it out of the window and start to follow your dream. Best of luck.
Let us take 2 minutes to evaluate the speaker. We're back. It's my pleasure now to call up Dan Craig, who's going to introduce our second speaker of the evening, Annalisa.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored distinguished guests, viewers at home. Tonight, Annalisa is going to do her project number 3 from the CC manual. It's called Get to the Point. Here are the objectives for this project. First, it's select a speech topic and determine its general and specific purposes. Organize the speech in a manner that best achieves those purposes. Ensure the beginning, body, and conclusion reinforce the purposes. Project sincerity and conviction, and control any nervousness you may feel. Strive not to use notes. To introduce Annalisa, she became certified as a holistic health coach last year through the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. She hasn't started coaching others yet due to many travels over the past year, but loves sharing her knowledge with others and hopes to inspire everyone to live a healthy, happy, and passion-filled life. She is currently dreaming of starting cooking classes and leading some healthy living workshops here in Fairfield, and is excited that Toastmasters is busting through her fear of public speaking. Eventually, she would love to host yoga, cooking, and wellness retreats around the world. The title of her talk is 3 Morning Habits. Please welcome Annalisa.
When you wake up in the morning, do you slam on your snooze button and then roll out of bed and rush out the door? Or do you have a more relaxed, zen morning, a little more aware of what your morning routine is? Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, viewers at home. Tonight, I hope to inspire all of you to focus a little more on your morning routine. I feel that the morning is a very important time to set the foundation for the rest of your day. And what you do in the morning can make a really big impact on how you feel that day and how your health is the rest of your life. So I came up with 3 healthy habits that I thought I would share with you today. They are: drink a big glass of water when you first wake up, 2, do at least 10 minutes of exercise, and 3, and I forgot it. No, it's good. Dry skin brushing. So I'll explain those to you. Number 1, big glass of water when you wake up. There are so many reasons to drink water. I could spend 10 minutes talking about the benefits of water. I will make it short. Water, your body is 70% water. So every single cell in your body depends on water. Water cleanses the body. It just helps your whole body function. When you're dehydrated, you can have headaches, you can have fatigue, you can gain weight because you think you're hungry, many other things. So when you're drinking this big glass of water in the morning, when you first wake up, you are ensuring yourself that you're at least getting 4 cups of water. So then the rest of the day, if you get really busy, you don't remember to drink, at least you had these 4 cups. Another thing about water this much in the morning is when you're sleeping, your body is repairing, regenerating, cleansing. And so when you're drinking all this water on an empty stomach, it really helps flush, gets the bowels moving, really important things. So what I like to do is, you can see there's a lemon in here. Sometimes I like to squeeze lemon or lime in here. It helps with detoxifying the liver. And in the winter, I like to have warm water because I find room temperature is a little cold. So there's different varieties you can do. That is the first one. All right, number 2 is at least 10 minutes of exercise. Like water, exercise, movement, whatever you want to call it, is super important because many benefits. It releases stress. It helps release endorphins, which is kind of a happy hormone. It gets the blood flowing, gets circulation going. tones the muscles. So if you do even just 10 minutes, you're really starting the day. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel energized. Some suggestions I have for the morning, you could do some yoga. So just stretch, do 10 minutes. Or you can turn on music and dance around your living room, get your heart rate up. You can walk around the block really fast. One thing I like to do is on YouTube, there's tons of free exercise videos. There's yoga, there's cardio, Pilates, weightlifting. It's free, it's on your computer, you can do it from home. There's no excuses. And experts say that you don't need to get a big chunk of exercise, let's say 30 minutes. If you do 3 10-minute segments throughout the day, it's just as good as 30 minutes. So if you do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 at noon, 10 in the evening, you have your 30 minutes, or you can just have your 10 minutes in the morning if you get busy or have excuses like many people do by the end of the day. And the third one is dry brushing. Anyone seen this before? Nice. So with dry brushing, it's called dry brushing for a reason. You don't bring it into the shower. You keep it dry. And what it does is it really increases your circulation, gets the lymph flowing, it scoffs away dead skin, releases toxins, a lot of benefits. So how do you do this? Before you shower or exercise, or basically anytime you don't have clothes on, you can do some dry brushing. It doesn't take long. And you're always brushing towards the heart because the lymphatic system is bringing toxins, waste, things that the body wants to remove, brings it to the heart to be released. So when you're brushing, think towards the heart. And you can do strokes like this, or you can do circles towards the heart. Start on the bottom of your feet, go up your legs, other side, this side. This is a big lymph area, your armpit, so pay attention here, and up the back, circle, you get the point. So this is the third habit. It's really invigorating, it's kind of addicting, I find, like I miss it if I don't do it. So that's the third one. I actually had a really hard time I had a hard time narrowing down to 3, because there's so many habits you can do in the morning. These are 3 that I strive for. But I suggest for all of you to pick one that I talked about tonight, try it for a week, see how it feels, see if you notice any difference. And if you don't like it, throw it out the window, try another one that I suggested, or there's so many more that you can come up with. You just have to find your own little formula of what you like to do in the morning. And remember, little habits, when they come together, they really can make a big impact and really make your life and your day a better place. Thank you.
Let's take 2 minutes and evaluate Annalisa's speech. And we're back, viewers at home. It's my pleasure now to call up Diane Denbaum, who's going to introduce our third speaker. Diane.
Thank you. It's really tempting to sit down. Good evening, everyone. Well, that's a boundary breaker for me because being tall, I always wanted to sit, so here I am standing. I got over that. It's my great pleasure. We have our super experienced speaker tonight, Jean Simonton-Craig, who will be working on an advanced manual interpretive reading. She'll be working on Project 3, which is the monodrama. Her reading is Bob Newhart's Introducing Tobacco to the New World, and it is a 5 to 7 minute presentation. She will be bringing to life words written by someone else, which is the purpose of interpretive reading. I'll also read the objectives from the manual. To understand the concept and nature of the monodrama. And then the second one, to assume the identity of a character and to portray the physical and emotional aspects of this character to the audience. I'll tell you a little bit about Jean. Jean Simonton-Craig has lived in Fairfield since 1988. and has been a Toastmaster since 2006. She was president of Golden Speakers Toastmasters in 2007 to 2008 and was the Area 92 governor for 2011 to 2012. She belongs to 2 Toastmaster clubs, one of which is at the maximum security prison in Fort Madison, has mentored a 3rd local corporate club, is currently coordinating a youth leadership program with 18 students, and finds the diversity of all the participants a refreshing and broadening experience. She is into Toastmasters. So please warmly welcome Jean Simonton Craig for a monodrama.
Milestones are never really recognized right away. It takes 50 or 60 years before people realize what an achievement it is. Take, for instance, tobacco. It was discovered by Sir Walter Raleigh, and he sent it over to England from the colonies. It seems to me the uses of tobacco aren't obvious right off the bat. And I imagine a phone conversation between Sir Walter Raleigh and the head of the West Indies Company in England explaining about this shipment of tobacco. It would go something like this.
Ring, ring.
Yeah? Who is it, Frank? Sir Walter Raleigh? Yeah? Yeah, put him on, will you? Hey, Harry, you want to pick up the extension? Yeah, it's Nutty Walter again. Hey, Walter, baby, how are you, guy? How's everything going? Oh, things are fine here, Walt. Did we get the what? Oh, the boatload of turkeys. Yeah, they arrived fine, Walt. As a matter of fact, they're still here. They're wandering all over London. Yeah, well, you see, that's an American holiday, Walt. What you got for us this time, Walt? You got another winner for us? Tobacco. What's tobacco, Walt? It's a kind of leaf, huh? And you bought 80 tons of it? Let me get this straight, Walt. You've bought 80 tons of leaves? This may come as a kind of a surprise to you, Walt, but come fall in England, we're kind of up to our... It isn't that kind of leaf, huh? Oh, what kind is it then? Some special kind of food? Not exactly. Oh, it has a lot of different uses. Like, what are some of the uses, Walt? Are you saying snuff, Walt? What's snuff? Uh-huh. You take a pinch of tobacco and you shove it up your nose and it makes you sneeze? Yeah, I imagine it would, Walt. Hey, goldenrod seems to do it pretty well over here. It has other uses though, huh? You can chew it or put it in a pipe. Or you can shred it up and put it in a piece of paper and roll it up. Don't tell me, Walt. Don't tell me. You stick it in your ear, right? Oh, between your lips. Then what do you do, Walt? You set fire to it. Then what do you do, Walt? You inhale the smoke, huh? You know, Walt, it seems you can stand in front of your own fireplace and have the same thing going for you. Yeah, you see, Walt, we've been a little worried about you, you know, ever since you put your cape down over the mud. You see, Walt, I think you're going to have rather a tough time selling people on sticking burning leaves in their mouths. It's going very big over there, is it? What's the matter, Walt? You spilt your what? Your coffee? What's coffee, Walt? That's a drink you make out of beans, huh? Oh, that's going over very big there too, is it? A lot of people have a cup of coffee right after their first cigarette in the morning, huh? Is that what you call the burning leaves, Walt? Cigarettes? I tell you what, Walt, why don't you send us a boatload of those beans too? Yeah, if you can talk people into putting those burning leaves in their mouths, they gotta go for those beans, Walt. Right? Listen, Walt, don't call us. We'll call you. Goodbye.
Let's take 2 minutes to evaluate. Pencils down, evaluations are done. It is now time to vote for our best speaker. Before we do that, Mr. Timer, did all of our speakers tonight qualify? They all qualified. They all qualified. So our first speaker tonight was Jyoti. Our second speaker was Annalisa. And our last speaker we just saw was Jean Simonton Craig. Please vote for best speaker. Hand in your ballots. The voting is done. It is now time for us to move on. It is now time for our evaluation. To lead the evaluation section tonight is Mr. Scott Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Monty.
I get the joy of evaluating the evaluators. This is the fun part. All right, fun for me. Will's about to come on up and give us his evaluation for Jyoti's great speech. Will, ready to hear it?
That's good, Scott, because I'm ready to give it.
All right.
Here we go. I say that, and then I do this. Toastmasters, guests, viewers at home, and most especially Jyoti. This was number 10, inspire your audience. So I'm going to start by going down the points here from the manual, then I'll hit up with my own comments there on your speech. Was the speech topic relevant? Yes. It was great. Did you understand the feelings and needs of the audience? Yes. Were you forceful, confident, positive? You always hit this one out of the park. You always have a great personality up here. Both professional, but also really warm, welcoming, just positive. The next two, did the speaker effectively use stories, anecdotes, and or quotes to help convey his or her message? And did the speaker's words convey strong, vivid mental images? Now this is where I would say you have an opportunity here for improvement. You had some great, you started out great out of the gate. You asked a question, what do you want to be? Of all of us, you got great participation here and involvement. But I would have liked more stories. I would have liked kind of more of a vivid example of what's going on, I guess. For example, you were talking about the 10,000 hours, and that being just a belief, and you came out with a really great performance, great appearance, but you're in this professional attire, and I'm thinking, what, did you achieve your goal? Did you achieve it? And I would have liked to have maybe had some example of the challenges specifically, and then how you overcame those. But I did like how you used the example of being a good speaker and then working on that, becoming better. At the end, you asked the question, or you basically said there was these assumptions we have to challenge. Basically, we have our beliefs, and we also have to test our assumptions. I actually missed it. Those were just the two main points, or if there was a third one as well that I missed. So my suggestion or it may be helpful to list the items again at the end, just to kind of help keep those of us like myself clear on what's going on. But you are a professional, magnificent speaker, and I like how you used your gestures. While they were small, were very purposeful. A lot of people will put them kind of at their chest to kind of hold in their stomach, which I used to do, and I still do to some extent. A lot of people, kind of just let them hang. But you actually had a very good use of gestures in this sort of box. They weren't wild and crazy, but it was perfect for your speech. Absolutely perfect. You pushed, pulled, sides. It was all just very well contained. Very well contained. You also had a great command, vocal variety here. I look forward to hearing some more of the competent or the advanced general speeches. Thank you, Jody.
And thank you, Al. Dan's getting ready to roll down the aisle. He's moving on. He's moving. He's almost there. Dan's about to give us an evaluation of Annalisa's wonderful speech. Dan is coming on up.
Mr. General Evaluator, World Toastmasters, honored guests, especially Annalisa. Annalisa's project was get to the point, and she did a tremendous job. There are evaluation points that have you rate from 1 to 5, and she got almost all 5s. I think what you probably agree with me, this was an excellent speech.
Yes.
In terms of the project, it was awesome. Even if I'm not using that exactly right. I'll go through the points just real quick. It asked if the general purpose of the speech was clear. Yes, that was to inspire us. Was the specific purpose clear? Yes, she said she wanted to inspire us to pay attention to our morning routines. And by the end, I was inspired. That's one of the things I liked about the speech. It did inspire me to do what she was asking me to do. And I would suspect that some of the others here felt the same way. Did the main points, supporting material, contribute to the speech's specific purpose? Yes, it was really nicely laid out. She had her 3 main points, then she'd say, supporting material, why is this important, then how do you do it, then some demonstration, all very well laid out, nicely done. Beginning, body, and conclusion reinforced this specific purpose. Yes, I thought the only point that could have been improved was the conclusion. In my opinion, it would have been better to actually, instead of saying, so in the next week, try one of these 3 that I've talked about, I would rather have you say specifically those 3 points again. It's surprising, we're all intelligent people, we're all listening, but it's surprising how material just flows on by. So it's good to really say it all again. The speaker appeared confident and sincere with minimal nervousness. I like the objective. It says strive to limit your nervousness. So she strove. She made it. And the speaker did not rely on notes. what could she have done differently? I've already mentioned the conclusion was really the one point that I had the small suggestion on. What did you like? As I said, I did find it inspiring. I'm going to try one of these things during the coming week. I am one of those people that think, oh, I'm so pressed in the morning. So I'm going to see if I can get out of that mindset. I also liked your gestures. They were nice, natural. I really liked your movement when you were demonstrating some of your points. You know, we were dancing and different stuff. I sort of like the brushing. And the thing I really liked at the end was that sentence you said, little habits come together and make a big impact. That's very profound, and that stuck with me.
Awesome evaluations, awesome speeches. Diane, come on up and give us the Virginia's.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, again. Jean, thank you for the monodrama. So the first question is, was the character clearly defined by the speaker? To me, it was. The character was defined. I was very clear that there was someone on the phone that was getting a phone call that had a lot of new and absurd information, and that the character was totally amused by that information. So it was clear to me. Did the speaker effectively express the conflict in which the character was involved? I felt, yes, definitely. I saw the whole conflict as the whole believability factor. I mean, the whole thing was just, really? Whatever, you roll it up, you smoke it, this, the beans. I mean, it was just went on and on. So to me, that was the conflict. It was just new information coming in and the believability. How effectively did the speaker use voice and gestures and body movements? Very effectively. Loved the laugh that Jean had, you know, that just having a lot of, it was fun. Totally amused, rolling the head, looking at the imaginary assistant. I loved when the feet went up on the table. And just that the constant, like that was very, to me it was very natural. The voice, well, I'll get to that. Did the speaker successfully avoid eye contact with the audience? Not always. And that's tricky. I did the monodrama. We're trained to make all this eye contact, and then in this one you're not supposed to. And occasionally I did watch your eyes. I could see you look and then look away. I don't know where you're supposed to look, to be honest with you, but every time you looked over this way, that seemed to work. So anyway, I did see some. With what parts of the monodrama did the speaker appear most comfortable? I thought you were really comfortable when you put your feet up on the table. Yeah, and on the phone. And again, that noise. And I think you were really comfortable when you looked over at the assistant. And I loved, as I say, the feet on the table seemed to work for you. Were there any distracting mannerisms? I didn't see any. What could the speaker have done differently to improve the presentation? One suggestion, maybe lower your voice. I think you were supposed to be a man. Jean was supposed to be a man. I'm not allowed to ask you that, but I made an assumption there now that I think about it. Maybe I saw Bob Newhart, but anyway, then I would have lowered the voice. And the project did mention memorizing. It said here something about try to memorize and not look at your book much.
Not required.
Not required, but you know how we have to stretch to find something for Jean. Right. What did you like about the presentation? The ringing, the syncing with Dan. I loved props, so I loved the phone. And there was a lot of humor in it, you know, about there was something in the middle there with the coffee and the cigarettes that I thought was fun. Let's see, and then to wrap it up, it was just a really good monodrama. Very amusing, very talented, wonderful. Thank you, Jean.
Thank you, Diana. And with our new format, we're now going to go into table topics. How cool is this? Yeah. Now, Annette, come on up and give us some table topics.
Vote for the best evaluator.
What?
No.
No.
No, table topics first.
Table topics.
That's right, we have table topics. Yeah, because then we have table topics and value.
Table topics. Here. Did I say evaluator?
No, no, you said table, you did good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, it's showtime, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, and all of you out in television land, welcome to our new game show, Toastmasters Table Topics. Here's how it works. Some brave souls from our studio audience will come up where they will be given a topic and will have to give an impromptu speech lasting 1 to 2 minutes. The shorter it is, the more people we can get in. So we're limited on our time. Who wants to be our first victim? Contestant. Don't volunteer. All right, Will. Come on. Sorry, you got No. Age before video games. No, age before. All right, let's see. I labored all day on these, and we're not going to have time for all of them. Let's see. If you were going to create a brand new television game show, what would it be? Not to put you on the spot.
Thank you, Madam Topics Master. If I could invent a new game show, I think all the pieces are actually already there from existing game shows. We just have to find a new synthesis to combine them in interesting ways. For example, I forget the name of the show, but do you remember the show with the people? There's these objects coming down on a belt, and it's like these weird objects, and they have to contort themselves with these different sort of shapes. You never see that show? It's okay. So they're on this conveyor belt. Things are coming towards them, like there's a like a human-sized sort of square, and then so they can just kind of stand by it and it goes by, no problem. Then all of a sudden it's like this crazy kind of thing, and they have to like get in these crazy shapes, and like if they screw up, they get knocked over and they go into this, I don't know, slime or water or something. It's not it. The goal is to stay away, just stay afloat there. But take that and you throw in cooking. So you're cooking, you're chopping fish, you're watching, and you better get up. Better get that knife over there, get it over your head carefully, contort back in, chop some more. Then you got to do some boiling. Get the water boiling. Got to move it over there. That I think would be the best way to create a new game show out of existing options we have available.
Sounds great. Now, I didn't tell you this. Our studio audience is going to vote on Best Table Topic Speaker, and you can't just shimmer, you have to shine. You can't be the meteor tail, you have to be the meteor if you want to win this lovely trophy at the end of our program. All right, come on up, Smith, huh? I'm going to put you on the spot here, and this probably hasn't happened to you, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Remember the show Family Feud? Fun show. All right. Tell us about a feud you had with someone in your family and who won.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, viewers at home. My name is Samantha, and I'm here to talk about a family feud that I've been through. And for that 30 seconds, probably longer than 30 seconds, nothing came to mind. So, why have I not had a family feud that came to mind? Probably because I avoid confrontation like no other. So, how do I avoid this? I don't argue back. When somebody yells at me, I start to get shaky and weird, so I just leave or walk away, say, okay, we're not going to talk right now, cool down. And I also, so I avoid confrontation by not arguing back. I don't readily tell somebody that I have an issue until it starts to kind of implode within myself, and then I find some way to either write about it or figure it out within my own self, and then I'll present bullet points of, okay, this is what happened, this is how I felt, this is how long it stewed, and this is what I'd like to happen from it. And by using these 2 points of not arguing back and figuring out what really is getting to me within myself before I present it to somebody, I am not able to speak about a family feud, but rather how I avoid them.
I knew that about her. You have to listen, I got one just for you. Come on. You're a contestant on a game show. Actually, you and Jean have never met. Jean is a contestant on the dating game. And you're one of 3 men she's going to ask questions to see who she wants to date. So tell us some of the things you would say to her to make her pick you.
Topics master, fellow Toastmasters. I always hated that show. It made me feel so uncomfortable. So now that I'm here, I have a chance to win a date with Gene Simon Gray. Gene Simon. Here are the things I think that I'd say to her. You might not know this about me, but I, more than anything in the world, I love to dance. I like dogs, particularly 2 small dogs would be a plus. I'm subservient. I'm a great appreciator of genuine beauty. I enjoy watching a woman who can really speak in front of a room, or organize a club, or mentor one, or go to a high security prison regularly. What else could you want? Thank you.
That's difficult, wasn't it? Do you have time for one more? Okay. Thank you. And now I'm going to introduce Seth Bond to come up and evaluate.
Actually, we vote first.
We're going to vote now. That's right. Before we get his expert opinion, which will certainly influence our decision. So please vote for best speaker.
Timer.
Back. Now I'm going to introduce Seth to evaluate the value. Evaluate your
Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, viewers at home, table topics, extemporaneous speaking, the ability to think on your feet.
Will, number 1, Will came up, new game show. So what you did well is you synthesized things that we already knew. Except we didn't already know them, because you watched some game show that it looked like nobody else here had ever seen in their life. However, what you did well was you paused before table topic starts. You have 30 seconds to pause and collect yourself before you begin table topics. Will drew in, came out, and then what else did he do well? He gestured, he moved, physical shape. It's like Merce Cunningham up here is doing some interpretive dance. It was really fantastic. What could you have done better? I think you could have riffed with the audience on the misstep with the game show. Like, oh, you never saw it? Where were you? Some banter back and forth, a little provocative. But I think the thing that really stood out for me was you did a fantastic job of putting your body into your talk. Samantha, Family Feud. You came out here, you were present, you really were visible. You paused as well. You collected yourself, and you segued. Very nice work on the segue. Did you like that?
Yeah.
I thought she did a really fantastic job. I would say the thing that you could do better is do not begin with, if you're uncomfortable, just stare at the audience. You know, embrace conflict. Like, be willing to get in there with people and just, you know, get that uncomfortable feeling going. Or not, if it's not your style. But it is something to consider that as a speaker, if we can embrace a little bit of discomfort with the audience, just a little bit of getting in there, and then you can kind of let them off the hook and say, I hate it, you know, the reason I'm not doing this is because I hate conflict. That might be an interesting twist. But you did a really great job of keeping it funny and humorous. Dan, dating. I really love that you paused and you said Gene Symington, and you caught that. I laughed. That was a funny moment. What could you do to improve? Start dancing. I love to dance. You could have done a little dance embodiment. And I would have liked you also to include some tension. Really get in there with her, and it was kind of like, yeah, all these things that would do well. What if you threw something out there that she wouldn't like, just rile us up a little bit and create contrast, because contrast is a wonderful tool to engage the audience in your speech. The thing that you did really well was funny. You just kept going for laughs, subservient, very funny. You found it funny. We found it funny. My student asked me, what does subservient mean? So that was a good English teaching moment there. All in all, great extemporaneous speaking. Had fun evaluating. Thank you very much. We're going to hear from our table evaluator.
The new system, it's rolling along. Okay, vote for best table topics evaluation. Vote for best evaluator. Best evaluator. All evaluators. So, Mr. Timer, did all evaluators make it? And the light's still on, by the way. Yeah, they all made it. It gives their names once again. All four of them.
All right. Will, Dan, Diane, Seth.
All right. And we are rolling back. We're going to go through our players of the night. Mr. Timer, once again, Lewis, give us the reports.
Yes. So we had Jyoti with 10 minutes and 16 seconds, so he had 14 seconds to spare. Annalisa, 6 minutes and 11 seconds. Jean, 5 minutes and 58 seconds. So now with the speech evaluators, we have Will, 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Dan, you did 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Diane, you did 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Right in line. Seth, you did 3 minutes and 21 seconds. And then for the table topics, we have Will with 1 minute and 20 seconds. Sam, you did 1 minute and 34 seconds. Dan, 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Marion, Miss Carol.
Yeah, well, only one person managed to use the word shimmer, but that was Annette, and she used it in a really wonderful way, talking about the word shimmering and glistening like a meteor trail. Jody, I really liked how you said, just define yourself with belief. I thought that was a great phrase. And Lisa, I really liked the phrase you used about little habits come together and make a big habit impact. Jean's was kind of amazing all the way through, but from the very beginning with her opening statement about milestones are not recognized till years later, but the description of the uses of tobacco between snuffing, chewing, using it in a pipe, shredding it, paper rolling it, putting it in the lips, setting it on fire, inhaling it. You could stand in front of the fireplace and get the same impact. I mean, the whole thing was great use of language. I loved how his evaluation used the term purposeful speaker, and I also loved when he did his impromptu in table topics. The new synthesis of existing options was a great phrase. Samantha, I loved just thinking on your feet, and the first phrase that came out was avoid concentration like no other. Diane, I love the phrase you used, you know how we all have to stretch. That was great. Dan, you liked the phrase that you used, inspired us to develop a morning routine. And what else? Oh, I loved Steph, did a couple of great things. The some banter back and forth, but that contrast was a wonderful way to engage audiences when speaking to them. And Scott. Oh, Scott hasn't done his yet, so anyway, that's
mine was the best.
Yes. Anyway, that is what I have. And a great night of wonderful uses of language in everyone's speeches. Thank you.
Thank you for shimmering, Carol. All right, Prana, let's talk about the ahs and ums of our lives.
Yes, it's my responsibility to discuss everyone's use of interruptions in their language tonight, and breaks, pauses with the words like, you know, so, but, and tongue clicks and false starts. This is my first time giving this discussion, so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do it for every single person that spoke or just the main speeches.
Do it for everyone.
Every single spoke. Okay.
Just go down the list.
Okay. Will, I'm just going to group yours. You've had multiple roles tonight, so I'm seeing 5 likes, 2 so's, 2 ands, 4 repeats, and 3 false starts. Jyoti, you had very few. You had so and once, and then 4 repeats, 4 false starts. Alisa had 1 like, 4 so's, and 3 false starts. Jean, you had in your monologue, I think doesn't really fit the paradigm or fit the structure, so I stopped keeping track because you were talking to somebody who wasn't there, so it was kind of there were multiple situations where there was a false start or it was a dialogue, so I couldn't exactly keep track. But 4 you-knows, 3 repeats, 2 false starts. Will, 5 likes, and 2. Oh, those you already okay. Diane, you've had 3 false starts, and that's it. I think just saying. Well, I'll talk about this later. A couple false starts. Sam, you did well. You had 2 ahs and 3 false starts. And let's see. Seth, you had 1 false start and no other interrupts. And then Carol, you had 1 and 1 repeat. So yeah, that's my overall. Hopefully covered everybody. If you didn't, let me know. Anybody? Did I miss anybody? Good. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Give us a joke? Jokey?
orders a drink, sits down. Shortly after he's enjoying his drink, he hears a voice say, "Nice shirt." He looks around, there's nobody near him, so he goes on and continues enjoying his drink. And a little while later, the same voice says, "I like your shirt." And truly perplexed, he calls over the bartender and asks, "Where is that voice coming from?" The bartender replies, "The nuts." The man asks, "The nuts?" And the bartender says, "Yeah, they're complimentary."
Okay. Take that. All right, time for my little spiel here. You'll excuse me for being a little esoteric tonight. Seth started me off thinking about purpose in life tonight, logotherapy. So when we think about evaluations and evaluations of evaluations, we're really talking about this larger construction of how speeches are designed. It's the construction of content. It's the design elements are more important than the content of those elements. For instance, with Jyoti's wonderful talk, what to do with beliefs. And then it's really about the beliefs of the beliefs. It's sort of the meta content, the construction of what we're doing. So when we think about Will's speech, Will's evaluation of Jyoti, there's really two parts to the evaluation, and we often forget the first part. So Will and Dan, for instance, when they're given speech evaluations, will read the objectives. And there's like another little piece we could add on to it. So Diane had a little bit of that piece, her personal touch. She starts off with a little bit about herself. She then reads the objectives, some of the book stuff, the intro to Jean, and then she has a little comment like, "Hey, Jean's really into Toastmasters, isn't she?" There's a way to make it a little bit more personalized, even in the introduction to the speech, to warm up people for the speech that's coming. Then we have the speech, and then the evaluator comes on afterwards to evaluate them. Again, the welcome sign, welcome everyone. Here I'm reading from the manual, and Will did, I'm going to read the manual, and then I'm going to give some personal. He was positive. Here's room for improvement. Here's more positive. So he did a little cookie method, Oreo. Will, you could have, since you were dealing with Jyoti, and Jyoti's so polished to begin with, you could almost add in a little bit more of that personal element and go, where can he take it next? Because there's so much more that he could do. He's already going for it. And so it's sort of, as the evaluator, it's not just evaluating the speech, but also the construct of what else we can do with that speech. Dan was looking at Elisa, and again, very clean, positive. Here's a couple minor things we could do, and more praise, glowing praise. Wonderful speech, deserve glowing praise. But Annalisa is already showing such promise and such strength that even though it's only her third speech, it'd be okay to nudge her a little further, be a bit stronger, and to say, here's something more you can do with that story. Here's something more that you could add more to what you're creating. Diane, again, clean, simple. It's hard to find stuff to really evaluate Jean with and little points of improvement. But that doesn't mean you can't also push Diane, you can't push Jean to that next level. In demo, for instance, legs up on the thing. Here's a man's voice. And really push it. How's the laugh go? How's the sound go? The finer elements. Seth had a very, again, really clean Oreo, we call it. Positive, need of a little improvement, and more positive. With every one of the people, he's able to go down each one. For Seth, I like how he demonstrated the dance. And it's time for me to go.
Thank you, Scott. Sorry to be a little bit short, but we are a little bit behind on time, and we do have some club business at the end. So without further ado, let's get to our rewards. Three fabulous speeches tonight, some great evaluations, some creative table topics. Let's start with table topics. Who's the best table topics? Best table topics? Mr. Burns, please come to the stage. You don't have a ribbon. Best evaluator. Seth. Thank you. And last but not least, best speaker. A little bit of surprise tonight. It's a tie between Gene and Annalisa. We can share. Can you share? Both come up. Gene, there you go. Speakers. And for completing project number 3 out of your competent communicator, Annalisa, you also get a ribbon for completing.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Jyoti, we also have a ribbon for Jyoti. He completed competent communicator number 10, inspire your audience. I also have a special award to give out tonight to Mr. Will Burns, who completed his competent communicator manual. He is now a certified competent communicator, a CC from Toastmasters International. Thank you very much, Will. A lot of work goes into that. Rewards are done. I'm going to turn this meeting over to Gene. We're going to do a member induction ceremony. Gene, who's our VP of leadership.
We're going to vote on our respective and proposed members. Diane, would you be willing to escort from the room Lindsay and Sandra, and I think that's it.